Okay, so you can hear me? Okay, I gotta figure out what's going on with the camera right now. Yeah. Yes, I said yes. That is a full blown, foolproof dummy helmet. Oh, fantastic. All right, let's go. Yeah. No, he's not even on yet. Yeah. Seems like he might be having the same issue I am. Nope, there he goes. Hmm. All right, guys. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna try to continue to mess with mine, but we're gonna go. We're gonna cut over. So I don't know. My video's having an issue for whatever reason, and it looks like. Oh shit! What happened? I may have just screwed something up. This is awesome, isn't it? I think it still says we're live. All right, let me check something real quick. And if that's the case, then I'll just move over. Yep. Okay. All right. So here's what we'll do. We're just going to run it, even though right now I'm having some sort of issues that I have to figure out. But in the meantime, at least we can run this thing. Why is this not popping back up? Wait, what's this? View live controller. Okay. All right. 16. What is that? All right. I'll have to do that somewhere else. Okay. So here we go. Share the screen. Okay. So we are on. What's up, everybody? Sorry for the late notice, but we are live for our first episode. I'm having some difficulty here with my camera, so I will try to get my stunningly ugly face on his camera at some point today. But we got two uglies that are already here with us. Welcome into the Sports Dummy podcast with Mike, aka Tiny Tim, and Maz, aka Maz. What's up, fellas? How we doing?
What's happening?
Buddy.
So we're doing episode 1. This is the first official kickoff to this project that we have undertaken. And so far it's doing exactly what I expected to do. Not run smoothly, because why? We are dummies. And we
Absolutely.
just like talking about shit anyway. So we're going to try to figure this out all while we're doing all this live. Why not?
I like it.
Yeah. So, what do we want to start with tonight, guys? We want to start
I think
with
mention the introductory top 5, and at least throw it out there. We can, eventually, get through the list, but mention that each week we're going to have this lovely list, the top 5 list. That's going to be, random. It could be sports related. It could be, something with entertainment wise, or maybe a marriage of both. But you brought up a really good one. If you want to kind of talk about our top 5 list.
So yeah, with week 0 kicking off tomorrow, I figured that it would be a great time to start out with our top 5 being college football related, and it pertaining to the top 5 college football hype songs. Now, this isn't an alma mater song. This isn't your school song. This is the song that your college or the college adopted as their official hype. So I think with that being said, I'll start out with an honorable mention. Okay, before I actually dive into my top 5, but just to give people an idea, I'll give an honorable mention, and it's the LSU Callin' Baton Rouge.
I like it.
I mean, it's a good honorable mention, right?
It is, absolutely.
Okay, so
actually, you'll save me some time. So it's, I got that on my list. Certainly one of my favorites. Well, anytime you get some guard, well, that's good to go.
yeah, so in my opinion, it didn't make my top 5, but it sounds like it made your top 5, Matt. So my top 5 is going to start out with number 5, and this is going to go to the originator. Now, you got to put the originator on there at some point in time, because if it wasn't for this school and this song, we probably wouldn't be talking about this right now, and everybody should know by now it's Wisconsin's Jump Around.
Great song. That's my number 2 on my list.
Okay.
Didn't one of those kids get shot?
Which ones? Wisconsin or the guys from Jump Around?
From the band. From isn't that Crisscross that sings that?
No.
House of Pain.
No, it's House of Pain.
Oh, gotcha. All right. Anyway, next. Sorry.
Different genre.
All right.
What a boob.
I had Crisscross in my head. I was like, Crisscross. And maybe it's his hat. Anyway.
Yeah.
Probably the hat.
Probably. Matt, you want to go next?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't necessarily go in order, but this song right here, it's a very popular song, but it's still one of the songs that when you hear it, you can't help but moving around. It's Oregon's song. It's Shout by the Isley Brothers. And it's just, obviously we all know this song, right? It's at every wedding. It's at every party song, whether it's young, old, whatever it is. But for me, it's Shout by the Isley Brothers.
I can't even.
All right, it's a good one. I didn't have it on my list, but it's a good one. I'm going to go with my number 5, which is Rocky Top by Tennessee.
Oh, that's good.
That's a good one. That's
Solid
a good one.
song. Yeah.
So
always get you in the mood for them there.
So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take our number ones, depending if they're all different, and I'm going to post them into our Discord under our NCAA tab and create a poll. And that way everybody, if you're not already subscribed to the Discord, you can come in and subscribe to the Discord, follow us so we can get up-to-date notifications on when we go live and anything else going on. And then I'll put a poll in there, and then everybody else can vote on what they think is the best of those number ones, or some variation of the sorts. Get a little fan interaction going on.
Sounds good.
Oh, you're playing. Well, relative news. I mean, we caught a little bit of scare yesterday in Pittsburgh camp. Obviously, it's going to turn out to be about a month's worth, perhaps, with the MCL sprain. But, man, it's tough to see one of your top draft picks get hurt in a preseason game with no value. But, it is what it is, and it's football. It's a violent sport. Guys get hurt all the time. But I guess the news could have been a lot worse. So thoughts on that?
Yeah, we got very fortunate that he wasn't up for the year. So when it happened, it didn't look good. When they carted him off, he had tears in his eyes. Pain on his face was very obvious. I want to talk about the rookie class, actually, that we've had in the preseason. I'll be personally, I'm probably in the minority. The guy that stood out to me the entire preseason was Yaya Black, who yesterday just tore it up. I mean, the guy's built like Casey Hampton, 6'3", 330, 340. We knew we got him to stop the run, but yesterday he tore it up in the. Don't sleep on this guy. He's very underappreciated in the pass rush game. So he'll definitely get some serious snaps for defense, especially now that Harmon's out.
Yeah.
Talking about the class in general, you can't give any of these guys a grade. It's preseason. It's their first, month on practice, against someone else. I thought Harmon was very inconsistent. He had a couple shining spots, but overall, he was on the field in 3 games where we ran all over. So kind of disappointed with that. But again, you can't blame it on one guy. Overall, for me personally, the rookie class is kind of uninspiring. I thought Jack Sawyer looked slow myself.
Right.
He had some nice plays against threes and fours, but when he played against ones, he did look to me up to par. But again, I'm not gonna. It's his first look in the NFL uniform. He looks the part. The guy's football IQ, from what I understand, is through the roof. Looks like he looks like the part of a linebacker, outside linebacker. So again, I'm not gonna say anything bad about these guys, but these guys, when you draft these guys 1, 2, 3, 4, they have to hit. So it's gonna be interesting.
Right. Since you're talking about the rookies and stuff, obviously, do you want to just continue on with more talk in terms of what we feel about how it's going to turn out, or in terms of progress through the point, or
I think I see Chaz. Here he is.
Hey, welcome back.
What's up, buddy?
I'm a genius.
Good to see you.
Yeah, I'm a genius.
You having a party back there?
What's that?
I said, you having a party in the background? Sleepover?
Nah,
just
kids. Just kids. Running around being crazy. So, yeah.
Hey, welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show. Hey, welcome to the show.
Well, I mean, my issue, obviously, there's a few issues. I don't know, I was hearing something about one of the concerns is the relationship that Aaron Rodgers is going to have with Smith at the line of scrimmage. And, obviously we know Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback. Certainly likes to run his own offense. Do you think he's going to get autonomy in that situation? Or do you think that that's going to create a problem for the line at any point?
Chaz?
Sorry, wasn't paying attention. Say your question again.
No. What I'm talking about is I had heard a story about, and again, there's lots of concerns about Aaron Rodgers. This is just another. Is how the relationship between him and Arthur Smith is going to be at the
Aiden, that's enough.
Arthur Smith is very directive in his play calling, and Aaron Rodgers being a very smart quarterback, and obviously won't participate in the play calling. It's probably times than not, and make a change, or at least want to make a change. So you think at some point, or if successful, you think one or both of these guys is going to swallow their pride and put it aside?
Yeah, so here's what I think. I think they're both consummate professionals, number one. They'll be able to figure this out. For whatever reason, Arthur Smith didn't want Justin Fields for half the year last year, and he wanted Russell Wilson for whatever reason that was. But then we find out later that they didn't get along so well or whatever. Either way, they're both in there to do a job. And I think at this point in time, Rodgers has been to camp. Rodgers has probably been next to him on the sidelines, probably picking his brain. Why did you call this? Why didn't you call this? In this situation, I was thinking doing something like there's probably that marriage, that honeymoon phase that they both have gone through and have talked about in certain situations and being in situational football to where I think they're feeling each other out. Not to mention, I'm sure that even though Arthur Smith is going to head the offense and the play calling, I think he might end up, if he's smart, in letting Rodgers kind of, if he doesn't see something he likes, he can change it at the line. I think just personally, that's probably the smartest decision you could do because he's a 20-year vet. He has seen so much come at him in every different way that I would think that he would have that freedom to an extent. I'm not saying that he completely just bypasses everything that Artie Smith says and runs his own offense. I don't think that's the case. But I think it's more or less like, a freedom of, hey, call this, but big but. But if you see something that's going to be a guaranteed first down or touchdown, by all means, call it the line. Because Rodgers has been, notorious for being one of the hot route checkouts in probably some time, along with the likes of Peyton Manning and Tom Brady and that nature, to where
research on foods that are good for you.
They can just see that, like, hey, this guy's going to end up cutting in. I'm going to have you do a slow go, and it's a guaranteed touchdown. So I think those situations are going to be situational, and I think in those instances, it's going to be a freedom, so to speak.
Aiden.
The biggest test is going to be week 1. We're going to see how they actually mesh up and how they get along. Especially in those tough games too. When we get in the divisional games, that'll tell you everything you need to know about
after
how
football.
Rodgers
Chocolate milk
and Artie Smith are.
Good for you.
Yeah, I personally think that I think Rodgers, he might give him more leeway. I'm not going to say he's going to let him call his own game, but
No,
I don't think
that.
Once he has the offense down, that he's going to be able to call checks to the line, go hot routes.
Right. Not to mention. Too.
Right.
These guys sit down at the beginning of the year and they go through page by page of that playbook and they say, what do you like, what do you don't like?
Right.
And Rodgers is going to tell them right off the bat, I don't like running this play. I don't like running this play. I don't like running this play. So in that aspect, I think that would be the case, to where, they can figure that out.
Yeah. Totally agree.
Situationally, yeah, that will make the difference.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, another thing I'd like to talk about while we're on the Steelers, a couple guys that to me looks like they may have played themselves off the roster. Some veterans. An interesting thing that happened last night. Beanie Bishop didn't play.
I thought you were talking about Cam Hayward.
No, Beanie Bishop didn't play, and he's on the scope there of that 53-man roster. I'm getting that 5 or 6 feedback. No, that was really interesting. He didn't play it, and Ramsey did play, which is there was no injury, there was nothing like that. So Beanie Bishop might be in trouble. Loudermilk, I think, is certainly in trouble. He hasn't really done much for us at all. And then there's another guy who, from all intents and purposes, has been. They've always told us he has all the talent in the world. For a 7th-round steal, Corey Trice, another hamstring injury. There's rumors today that he may go in the IR. So there's 3 vets that could open up 3 spots. Plus, not to mention Christian Kuntz is out. He's probably going to go in IR, or they're bringing a second long snapper because he has a broken sternum. So, another guy who won't make the team, Robert Woods. He did nothing in the preseason here.
I got to be honest with you. We talked about this before. With our receiving core the way that it is, I'm kind of okay.
If Wilson steps up,
I'm kind of okay. What I saw in because I went to the home preseason game. It was CJ's first Steeler game, so we took him down there, and I tell you what,
he did a great game.
He looked awesome, man. He looked great.
Yeah.
He looked elusive. He was getting behind people. He was getting that deep ball too. Like, he looked great. I thought he looked fantastic, and I kept saying to myself, because I'm not going to sit there and scream it, because I'm not loaded like 98% of the people that were down there. But I'm saying in my head the whole time, this is what we've been waiting for. Thank you. Thank you for showing up at least in the preseason to where we can see what your potential could be, because this is what we've been waiting for. We needed you last year, but, the chips fell where they fell and you were hurt the whole time. But now that we can see what you're actually doing, man, I'm pumped, man. I'm looking at this promise and I'm like, hey, this is good stuff.
Yeah, confidence is not as high for me. We've seen flashes, and obviously we're waiting for that level of play. So hopefully it'll work out that way. I mean, opportunity will be there for him. So I guess we'll see what the play calling is going to dictate. How Arthur Smith is going to handle the offense. Who's going to get a lion's share of the targets, and are they going to run it through the backfield more? And get more bubble screens and more conservative type play calling. 3 tight ends, or are we using them all in the passing game? There's a lot of mouths to feed offensively if you think about it. So
yeah,
hopefully he when he gets his opportunities that he shines, because we're going to need him.
Well, DK is going to get the targets, fellas. I mean, there's no doubt about that.
no, and,
He's our guy.
Matt, you brought that up too. Like, what's his stat line going to be throughout the year?
Yeah.
I think a guy that's getting paid 30 M's a year is going to be getting a pretty good stat line.
He's going to get 10 to 12 targets a game, if not more.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I hope so. Because,
again, any chance I get,
not to mention,
moving forward, you guys know, if I get a chance to throw in little segues, fantasy related, I will. And it's funny when you mentioned targets. Straight up, over the last 3 seasons, of the top 25 receivers in fantasy scoring in football, over 90% of them are north of 100 targets. So that right there, that 100 target number, that's the marker. So in fantasy, opportunity, is obviously gives you the chance for production. Without opportunity, your ceiling is limited. So 100 targets, that's the marker. So any offense in the situation where your guy is either number 1, number 2, however it shakes out, that's what you're looking for, because then you start to get into catch rates and stuff like that, where you can, start to tell the story of how that production lays out. But, I mean, do you think he's a 100 target guy? I mean,
Absolutely.
Do you think? Okay.
Unless he gets injured, he's absolutely. Because think about it, 17 games. That's just over 5 a game. I mean,
Yeah,
it's like 6 a game would be, do the math, Matt. It's 102 targets. 6 a game. So I definitely think that's. I'd be shocked if he doesn't get at least 100 targets. Personally.
Okay. On average, there's only about 1 receiver per team. Sometimes maybe 2. There's about 35 to 40 guys that get to that number each year.
Right.
And that's how this all shakes out. So it seems like, well, it's only 6 targets a game, whatever. Again, injuries play a part, other factors. Our offense is limited. It's not going to be throw the ball first. There's other things that are going to contribute to hopefully get to those numbers. But you're right. If he does get to there, then, I mean, obviously his production should be pretty good.
Listen, if he doesn't get 70 plus catches, 1,100 yards, and 10 touchdowns, I'll be shocked. I'll be honest with you.
That puts him as a low-end wide receiver, too.
Yeah. Yep. That's what I'm thinking.
Would you be willing to take him in a draft at that spot?
Oh, yeah. I think top 15 receiver, to be honest with you.
Really? Okay.
With this team right now, just the way it's structured, if we would break out from either Roman Wilson or Austin or a tight end's help, I could see him being a wide receiver too. I really can.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
Yeah. And like I said, I'm not a Yinzer. I'm not gung ho on the offense. I just know how they're gonna vent this offense to him. It's gonna funnel through him into the passing game. There's no doubt about that. Even though Arthur Smith loves these tight ends, DK is gonna be the big play guy. He's just a physical specimen. He just can't.
Well, I mean, I was reading something too. Again, just listening to the experts and stuff. It's the way Arthur Smith's going to run the offense with multiple tight end sets. It's going to put teams, into single safety sets. You're not going to play that too high safety. And Metcalf being such a physical talent, he's not a route runner. I mean, that's not his strength. His strength,
1-on-1? Wow.
Forget about it. Yeah, I mean, he will outmatch anyone. So and with speed and just ability. So. That's when he had some of his best years is against those sorts of defenses. So they're going to game, or hopefully they're going to game plan to put him in the best spot. So but like I keep saying, it's tough for me. It's those words coming out of my mouth that the Steelers are going to have a top 10, top 15 receiver in fantasy. It's like, wow, things really
trust me. Chaz and I have talked about him just because of I think what Smith wants to do offensively. If all goes well, like it's supposed to, you're gonna have that 2 tight end, 3 tight end. They're gonna have the 1-on-1 matchups. Who you double them? If you have one safety back there, guess what? Someone's going to be open. You're in one-on-one with Jonnu Smith, one-on-one with Freiermuth, one-on-one with Washington, one-on-one with DK. So someone's going to be one-on-one. And most of it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out this season. So, for sure.
So before we get to the big news that happened today, which I have questions about, maybe somebody can fill me in. Number 4 on our top 5. I'm going a little south, which is kind of our neighboring friends, and I'm going to go with West.
Jesus.
I know that you don't like it, but
I have it in my top 5. I have it in my top 5.
Mine is at number 4. West Virginia University, Country Roads.
Country Roads.
It's a classic. It's a classic. It's hard. It's hard not even to sing along even if you're not a fan of West Virginia. It's just hard not to sing along to that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's
the
a good
Hoopies
one.
love it. Yep.
All right. Well, for me, number 4. We're going around. I'll try and put these in order. Is Georgia, Bob O'Reilly. Can't beat it. I mean, that's just. As a matter of fact, if I get my Alexa to play right now, Alexa, Bob O'Reilly, please, Georgia, walk in.
Yeah, that's great. Let's get a strike our first day on YouTube. That'd be awesome.
Yeah. All right. Go ahead.
In my number 4,
I have.
there you go. There's the hat. I love it. In my number 4, I have that's where I had my West Virginia, but I'm going to do my number 3. I'll keep my West Virginia.
No, keep it at 4. Keep it at 4.
Yeah, West Virginia.
I like it.
4.
I like it.
Yeah.
So since we've gotten to the 4 of our top 5, let's go into some huge news that broke a little bit earlier today. Brian Robinson Jr. gets traded from the Washington Commanders to the San Francisco 49ers. Now, I don't have a problem with the trade because obviously the 49ers needed this in a huge way. They got a disabled backfield at the moment. Everybody is hurt practically except for McCaffrey. Go figure. Okay. My question is to what is there a rookie in Washington that I don't know about that's just like blowing the doors off of this place? Mm-hmm. Or is there something internally that happened with Robinson Jr. and the Washington Commanders organization that they're just no thank you. We just don't want your services no more.
Well, the news on that is he asked to work on his contract. He's in last year's rookie deal. The Commanders said no. He said, can I not play this week? They said yes, and they traded him. So here's a weird thing. The guy's making $3.4 million. That's it. Okay?
And Washington has taken part of that.
Right, which is really weird.
Which is hilarious to me.
Yeah, so on their roster, they have their third down back. They have a rookie who's supposedly their new number 1 there with this deal.
Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt?
Yes, that's supposedly their new number 1 back, which blew my mind when I read it.
7th round pick.
Yeah, I don't understand what they're doing, especially with that team. Why would you want to take a step backwards after the year they had?
I think Austin Eckler made a deal with the devil. I think he's going to play till he's 47 years old.
Austin Eckler is going to be their number 1. Yeah. And then they have their third down back, the old Titan. Who is it? Eckler.
Rodriguez.
Their old third down back.
Chris Rodriguez.
McNichols.
Yeah. They also have Chris Rodriguez too.
Right, and Rodriguez, those two. So when I saw that trade, Chaz, 2 things came to mind. They got him for nothing. From the Niners.
Not to mention, yeah, and not to mention again, you could have probably bled the Niners for this, at least for at least a 4th rounder. They got a 6th, and Washington's paying part of the salary.
Right. So 2 things came to mind. Number 1, Washington, what are you doing?
Exactly.
Did we know something going on that we don't know about?
Exactly.
Because I don't trust any of those running backs we mentioned. Eckler's good, but he's not the same Eckler from 2-3 years ago. But he's still good. I like him. He's not a guy who's going to carry the load for you. But number 2, is this a move? Now they have in San Francisco CMC, who's coming off a major injury.
Right.
Isaac Arendo, who played well last year in spots.
Mm-hmm.
Jeff Wilson, who's played well in spots when he's played. And Jordan James, who's a rookie who had spots with Oregon. So, is this more of a look saying we need someone because we're not sure about McCaffrey being totally healthy? Or, because they made 2 trades this week, guys, the Niners. 2 really strange trades, in my opinion. Now, this one didn't make sense for either team, but for a 6th-round pick, I'll take Robinson. What the hell? From the Niners.
And here's the thing, he's not getting cut.
Right.
Yeah.
Here's the other thing, too. You know that he's going to make the 53 because they're not going to give up a 6th-round pick. They're not going to give up a draft pick in general just to cut a guy.
Right.
Yeah. From all accounts, McCaffrey looks really, really good in camp. Speed-wise, agility-wise, just looks physically, he's healthy, et cetera, et cetera. The other thing you didn't mention, Mike, was I just found out that Shohei Ohtani found someone to take the bet that Jaden Daniels was going to lead the Commanders in rushing this year. So that's something's going on here. There's a little bit of a little fishy business going on here. So, yeah, it doesn't make any sense. But, again, like you said, we don't really know what's going on inside that building. So I guess I got confidence in Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, which is going to be fun to say. And he is not on anybody's radar right now, so certainly going to be climbing up draft boards. So that's interesting. But, again, Daniels and that offense, they were pretty good last year.
It was, but here's the weird thing about that offense. So last year they were dynamic, but they're going with McLaren right now has no contract. He's holding out, so that's a problem. Yeah. You go your top running back, that's a problem. Washington's looking like they're taking a step back, fellas. I mean, this is really strange to me.
Yeah, it's tough to overcome those sorts of things to start the year, but it's going to be interesting.
Granted, they did trade for Debo. So I mean that makes sense. He's going to be a big, but him and McLaren together would be really, that'd be a nice duo for them.
I think they get this deal done. I just don't see them if they're trying to build this team. I don't see them not paying this guy.
Right. I agree, 110%.
I just don't.
It doesn't make sense, especially when you had a great year last year like they did. Came out of nowhere. You know
Absolutely.
What I mean?
And again, the salary cap's going to go up again next year. You'll get a little bit of relief, but I just don't see that. And plus, they're talking about going into a brand new stadium in the next year and a half. So it's like you're gonna want to fill that place. You're gonna want to make sure that place is sold out.
Yeah, unless there's something we don't know about that Robinson must have asked for an astronomical raise. You know what I mean?
Right.
He's making 3.4. I mean, running back Saquon's number 11. So, I mean, I don't know. It's really a strange deal. Really a strange deal right now for that team. And then let me follow this up by, let's talk about a trade that happened earlier in the week. Pretty minor. The Chiefs and Niners made a trade earlier in the week. They swapped 2007 6th and 7th round picks for Sky Moore from the Chiefs, who's been a bust for them. Now, we know why San Francisco did this because they dealt Debo.
Yep.
Ayuk's hurt still from last year's knee injury. Demarcus Robinson, who was number 2 or 3, is suspended for the first 3 games for substance abuse. Jawan Jennings got hurt, and he asked for a trade. So Ricky Purcell, for all intents and purposes, is the number 1 receiver. So now you might slot Sky Moore in there as a number 2. But the Niners are a mess, fellas.
Yeah.
The Niners are a mess.
Again, their window was 3-4 years ago, and they screwed that all up.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. They're a mess.
That's why it's going to be important to see how they manage McCaffrey's workload early in the year, because all points to seem that they're going to still run the offense through him. They almost have to. it's going to be him and Kittle. You know,
My
and
friend Kittle came up playing today too. So that you're right, Matt. They're going to have to run the offense through those guys. There's no other way.
Yeah.
Everyone else is injured on that goddamn team.
Well, here's what I know. You got Purcell, and now you just got Brian Robinson. If they don't start the season in a pistol formation, it's a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
You guys think? Is it not registering?
Right. Yeah.
I'm trying to do the math right now.
They were both shot.
Robinson. Oh, let me spell it out. Robinson, pistol. No, it's too late. Sorry.
They were both shot. Purcell and Robinson.
Yes.
So they need to start. They need to start in a pistol. Anyway.
Yeah.
It's funny. Yeah.
Well, that one fell short.
He took a bullet in the chest. I mean, Brian Robinson took a bullet in the ass. But, Ricky Pearsall, he took it in the chest, dude, and he came back and played. It's like...
Same here. Yeah.
I know, it's insanity. It's it's just like crazy to me. But, yeah, I mean, whatever. So, I don't know. It depends if we're staying pro football related, too. I got a lot of stuff pro football related. I do want to get on. I'm sure you guys have seen Jackson Dart, and obviously he's had a really good preseason. And I know it's whatever. It's not like you can take preseason and go, oh, I told you so. He's going to be the best quarterback in the league. I'm not saying that, but what I am saying is that 3 years old Lane Kiffin, he looks pretty comfortable out there right now playing the position, right? I mean, he looks like he knows what he's doing, and it's going to be difficult to watch the success of Jackson Dart because I think he's going to have it. And just thinking about how we talked about it on many shows.
I love Jackson Dart.
About how the Steelers were going to line up and get him in whatever, and it just didn't happen. So, thoughts on Jackson Dart looking like he could be the part at some point?
Not shocked. That's my only. Not shocked.
No, I mean this is one of the biggest reasons why me and Mike mostly, were beating on the Jackson Dart drum that the Steelers needed to get him because we kind of seen that this kid might be better than the 3 or 4 quarterbacks that were picked before him. When it's all said and done, who knows? Obviously it's too early to tell, but still,
that's what that says right here.
I mean, that's why we were beaten.
That is for protection.
Yeah, these SEC quarterbacks. I mean, he came through with Lane Kiffin and a throwing offense, tough defenses. Man, he looks so good in college. That's why I love him. And he's a big kid, big arm. And he's an athlete too.
And he's a professional kid. He's not some head case. He's sharp. He's smart. He's talented. He's coachable. The quarterback, and he was there. And the Steelers didn't really have to put anything to get him on the roster, but they chose to go that direction. So, whatever. I'm not running a bang on him, but I mean, I'm good for the kid. I mean, I like him.
That's for confidence.
Yeah. My only two things I want to mention just real quick. A funny thing I noticed tonight when I was doing some homework here. Did you guys see the report from Dallas? Jerry Jones was on Shannon Sharp's show, and he said we had terms for contracts, the length, the signing bonus, himself and Micah supposedly, and his agent. I quote said to him, he told us to stick it up our ass. So between the Cowboys and Bengals with their 2 stars. What do you guys think? Are they going to play for their team this year or be dealt?
Go ahead, Chaz.
So, it doesn't. I think because there was this huge article / tweet by Micah that basically outlined the entire downfall of why he wants out of Dallas. Between, closed door conversations and handshake deals and this and that, it doesn't sound like this might be a salvageable relationship. I think this relationship is shot. I think whatever happens, Micah is gone out of Dallas.
Wow.
Good. Because I love that offense this year. I love pieces. I love Pickens. I love Prescott. I love anything in the passing game this year. That defense is going to be terrible.
Yeah,
So,
I think
terrible.
I think if that's the case, then you try to do whatever you can to deal Micah, get draft picks, and try to rebuild that defense. And it might be the best way to go, but Jerry's stubborn. Who knows? I do think that Mike is gone. Trey, I don't know. Is that? It almost sounds like that's a little bit salvageable over there because he traveled with the team at the last preseason game here. So I don't know. I mean, we're talking about a guy in Trey who basically said, I ain't coming back until we start talking about money and years. And then he was back the next week and they didn't talk about anything. So it's kind of like, you're standing on business for what? Because you're saying you're going to do something and you go back on it. So I'm not quite sure what you plan on doing. And it sounds like he might be giving in and trying to play nice. So I don't know.
Well, he loses like $2 million a game or close to it if he's not playing. I mean, that's a big chunk of money. He may go out there having half an effort, and I'm okay with that. Like I said, the defense is going to suck anyway. So
I get it, but he's also playing on a last year of a contract, and he's got no guarantees after this.
Right.
Yeah. He gets hurt. He's going to be at least.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how it all shakes out. I think the landscape of both of those defenses are going to be vastly different this year, though.
Yeah, I think of the three major holdouts right now, McLaren's going to get a deal. Washington needs to get a deal done with him.
I think so too.
I think Parsons, man, and Hendrickson. I'm not sure.
I don't know.
I don't know if either of them are going to be with their teams, but the closer it gets to the season, who has the leverage? You know what I mean? Like, it's going to be interesting. So,
I think Trey. I don't think Trey has any leverage, whatsoever. Micah, I don't know. I mean, if he's disgruntled and everything like that, he's obviously not going to give up money just to prove a point. I think it's just going to be the fact that, all right, you don't want to do a new deal. You don't want to trade me. You don't want to do this. Fine, you're going to lose me and get nothing in return.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm going to hit free agency, no doubt, and he'll be gone.
These players end up re-signing in some capacity. Even in the short term, because like I said, money drives it, and it's not like these guys. Of course,
you can look at Myles Garrett. You can look at Myles Garrett as a prime example of money drives everything. That guy said he was as good as gone, and then they waved 40 M's in front of him. He's like, yeah, never mind, I'm staying.
Yeah, I'm winning the Super Bowl here.
Yeah. Hey, how funny is it? Yeah, how funny is it that Shedeur Sanders is number 4 on the depth chart?
Yeah,
it's not good for Shedeur Sanders. Some of the notes on him was that, I mean, obviously, if you look at the reason why they didn't put him, higher, is because he's got physical skills. You see him throw the football. I mean, he's got the size of a quarterback. He's not that he's elusive, but moving the ball. It's just that he had enough ability to read defenses and to, he kind of drifts in the pocket. He's not somebody that can line up, call a play, maybe audible, and then go ahead and find the receiver. He's just not comfortable yet at the position. So talent-wise, I mean, I don't know, everybody early on expected him to be all that. Now, on the flip side of that, where he came from, if you look at the talent that he had in front of him, it wasn't that good either. I mean, O-line and receivers and stuff like that, and he still put up some pretty gaudy numbers. So talent, yes, but not ready also at this point, not at this level.
I think he got drafted where he should have got drafted, personally.
Yeah.
5th round pick. I don't see anything more. So, yeah. So what you got next, Matt?
Some other quarterbacks, if you guys want to talk about it, it's just basic analysis. And I'm just curious what you guys think, too. I mean, it sounds like you guys are down on San Fran, and it makes sense because obviously the injuries they're facing and stuff like that, it's tough. That receiver room is a mess. And with the running backs, you see how desperate they are trading, the way they are. But first, 1-6 last year against playoff teams. Gets the contract. At times you look at that offense when they have all the pieces, and they're pretty good. I mean, obviously he's got some pretty good numbers, but when you look at him as a quarterback, he just lacks the physical appearance like a Josh Allen, or obviously he's not Lamar Jackson. He doesn't wow you from that perspective, but all the analysis on this kid is that he is one of the smartest pre-read quarterbacks in football, almost like Brady-esque. I mean, super, super smart. Leadership qualities, top of the line. Talent-wise, too, being able to make all the throws, top of the line. So, for me, it's mixed bag because I give the nod when you, and this is something we'll talk about later, the importance of having the quarterback and coach combination. Obviously, Shanahan's a good coach. So, when you have that combination of coach and quarterback at that level, to me, I give them the benefit of the doubt. I like Purdy personally. I think he's probably a fringe just outside the top 10, top 12 quarterback overall when it all shakes out. Probably both. Probably in real life football and also in fantasy. He's probably just outside that top 10, in my opinion. What about you guys?
I don't have anything higher than 16, 17, to be honest with you, only because I think he's a product of the system. I think he's very lucky with Shanahan. I think he needs a coach like Shanahan and McVay or the Vikings coach O'Connell to be good. I think if he ended up somewhere else, I don't think he'd be on the radar whatsoever. So I can make the throws. He's a smart quarterback, but he doesn't have that wow factor. He doesn't do anything for me personally. He's a good game manager, but I just don't see him as a top. To me, he's borderline top half of the league in quarterbacks, personally. And to me, he got that contract because they needed to give it to him. They were no man's land right there. So,
Mike, I'm going to remember that when it comes down to it, because I'm going to draft Purdy or at least pick him up somewhere, and then I'm going to beat you with him in a championship, just like I did with Kirk Cousins.
Purdy to Pearsall in the championship game, big game for Pearsall. Yeah. Just another quarterback, and then we can move on from the quarterbacks. Sam Darnold, obviously big year last year, gets traded, gets the contract. Kubiak is the OC now in Seattle, and they're going to run a lot of that outside run game, the outside zone run game, which obviously helps Darnold. I was looking at the numbers. Darnold was number 2 last year in terms of quarterbacks under center. That's the type of offense he likes to run, traditional type offense. He's going to do the same thing this year. Kubiak, they're going to run the same offense. So, Seattle's going to be run-based. Like I said, I'm really high on Kenneth Walker this year. But that aside, what do you think about Sam Darnold? Is he enough for Seattle to, get them into the playoffs and maybe take another step, past that point?
Yeah. Short answer, no.
I know you're not a Sam Darnold guy.
I am not. I am not a Sam Darnold guy. I think I made that pretty evident over the last 9 times we've had a video call here. I just, you're talking about him going from where there was no expectation on him whatsoever. So he basically played loose all year last year for Minnesota. He was on basically borrowed time, his last dollar. He was on it all. And he ends up striking gold and doing well. But again, I credit that to Kevin O'Connell. And
top 10 weeks, he was a top 5 quarterback last year.
And he had a great supporting cast. It's hard to argue the fact that he had massive amounts of weapons who were superstars out there for him.
Aaron Jones, Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison.
And then he's going to go, and then he's going to go to Seattle, who has who?
Smith and Jigba?
I was going to say Smith and Jigba,
That's it.
Like I just said, their offense is going to run through Walker, Charbonnet, the tight ends. Again, it's not going to be. They're not going to ask Sam Darnold to drop back 40 times a game. They don't have to. And be careful, because when we talk about the argument, he's got this receiver, he's got that receiver. The only quarterback we could talk about that it really doesn't matter who's on their team is Patrick Mahomes, because he's the only one that made chicken salad out of chicken shit for 2 years and won 2 titles doing so, with nobody in the receiver room.
Well, I agree.
Everybody else is talent.
He's also
totally agree.
He's also semi-mobile as well, where Darnold is not.
What my point is that I don't think it's fair to fully knock a guy based upon who he shares a room with. I think, if anything, that's what we're looking for. We want playmakers. We want guys that can make your quarterback, or your quarterback can make your receivers better. That's what this is about. So, for me, it's more about opportunity, scheme, and about maybe looking at the player and what their floor is in that system. And I don't think, numbers-wise, Darnold is going to come to the level he did last year. I don't think you're going to see him get out of the gate and be a top 5 guy through week 10. I don't see that at all. But Seattle may not need him to be that guy. They only may need him to be the best of Sam Darnold's, and which may be enough in that offense. That's something we're going to have to look at. So,
two things about Sam Darnold in Seattle. Number one, about Seattle, Kenneth Walker has a bad foot already. They're in trouble. Number two, Sam Darnold, I have a list of my top 20 quarterbacks for fantasy going into the year. He didn't make the list.
Oh, he's not on my list either. For fantasy, not at all. Not at all. No, I'm not totally.
I just don't see Seattle being a factor at all. They're in a bad division. They're in a bad division. That's the only thing that gives them comfort. But they're not going to be a good football team. They lost too much. I'm sorry. So,
I agree.
Let's go with number 3, fellas. Number 3 real quick before we start talking fantasy, I think, huh?
Yeah, I was actually going to agree with that. I was going to jump into that myself. I have one fun fact to say after we get through this, but go ahead.
Good. Jazz?
Well, how about you? You're the one that started off with number 3, so you go start.
Number 3. I'm going to go with, I'm going to go with, I have a few here, but my number 1 is obvious. My number 2 we talked about. My number 3, I'm going to go with Michigan, Mr. Brightside.
I thought about that, and then I thought to myself, why would anybody's hype song be about a woman cheating on her guy?
Because it's Michigan. That's why.
Exactly.
Here we go. Yeah.
That's why. My toss up there was
great
Penn
song.
State or Michigan.
Great
it's a great
song.
song.
It's a great
I love
song.
Penn State song. I love Michigan song. I just picked that one.
I mean, it's a great song. I just don't see it being a good hype song. So, I'll go with number 3 on my end, and it's because I love the song personally. Okay, so I just think, not to mention, it's kind of a cool visual, especially at night down in the swamp in Florida when they start singing
Won't Back Down.
So I think the visual about that and just the song in general, I mean, I'm just a huge fan. So my number 3 is...
That's Alma Mater. He was eating burgers at that school at one time in his life.
Well, yeah, my number 3 is Florida. Won't Back Down.
I almost had an education up there.
Education.
Almost. Not so fun fact, I was up there when Danny Rollins was hacking people to death. Okay? You guys remember that crazy bastard? He actually got into, I was dating a girl at the time, in her complex. That was the first complex he hit, was one of the girls that I was dating. Crazy, right? So
it's insane.
Yeah. Crazy. Okay. So number 3 is a repeat for me, because I think you guys mentioned Penn State's song, Seven Nation. So, that was number 3 for me.
That's my number 2. That's my number 2.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you mentioned it already. So sorry about that. Yes, that's my number 3. And that's a phenomenal song. I mean, you got to move. That song comes on, you're ready. I'll fight a grizzly bear. I'm ready. So.
Right.
Yeah.
Much.
Hi, bud.
He said hi. Daddy. He said hi. He's going to bed right now, so. Yeah, it's 10 o'clock. Congratulations. You can tell time on a digital.
Public school
All right,
system.
Matt.
Yeah, school system's doing great. So, fun stat before, Matt, you go fantasy crazy on us. Fun stat is 109 UFL players have signed to NFL teams thus far. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is, and we just signed one this week.
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool.
Linebacker. Yeah,
So, there's your little fun stat.
it is a cool stat. Hey,
All right.
Real quick, did you guys hear about this thing it's been talking about today all day on sports when I was getting a haircut after work? The 37 and under or 35 and under and over leagues that Tomlin's obsessed with. It's like semi-pro football. They were talking about it on the Fan today, and it was hilarious, like half-an-hour segment.
Like at what level is he obsessed with it? You know, is taping his underwear?
He has it on YouTube, and watches it constantly when he's not coaching the Steelers or on the road. Yeah.
Is he obsessed with it to the point where he signs Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers?
So the one guy who was on it today was this announcer. I don't know where he's from, but funny story. He was doing this league. I guess they show it in their towns, or it was an 18 league. So he said ages would range from 25 to 45 in this league. So they flew into some town in Alabama, and they get to the stadium, and they're like, nobody's here, and they call this contact number. They're like, guys, the league folded 2 days ago because no one got paid.
That's terrible.
That's
Yeah.
awesome.
But not shocking, of course.
Good for them.
But I guess
That's
on
awesome.
YouTube there's videos of this league everywhere, so I don't know.
No.
Yeah.
Matt.
Well, we got drafts coming up. You guys got drafts coming up, I'm sure. You said your first draft is Sunday?
This
Sunday,
Sunday,
6 o'clock, yes.
6 p.m.
Yeah, I've got one Sunday. I've got a couple. I've got 4 total, some big money ones too. All right, there's so much we can go into, and certainly what I want to talk about is maybe just a little bit of strategy, and then maybe we can get into some players, and we can talk about those players individually. But just real quick on strategy, just some pitfalls, some stuff that when I like to get a feel for the room, and most of my home leagues, I know the guys that are in the leagues anyway, so I kind of have a feel for how they do things and where they're taking guys, which is a huge advantage. But certain pitfalls that we tend to do as creatures of habit. We know we have to fill a roster. We know we have to have so many quarterbacks, receivers, running backs, tight ends, whatever. Do not, and this is the thing that is the hardest thing to escape. However you're working your way through your draft and you have a plan, is when you get to round 5 or round 6 and you're on the fence about who to take, don't look at your roster and go, I need a running back, or I need a wide receiver, or I need. You don't need a position. You need to get the best player available, okay? And not necessarily be locked into position. And this is the reason why. Because when you're trying to take these players when they're being taken, they have to return a certain value to you. And that value is important because that's how you score. If you're just trying to fill your roster with a third running back, you have to look at what that third running back is going to get you point-wise, what he's going to represent, as opposed to what's left on the board at the other positions. What if there's a wide receiver 2 with a higher floor there? Are you still going to lean and take that running back? It's probably not the right call. So, strategy-wise, again, when you're building your team, I know you have roster composition, but don't get locked into having to fill a position based upon a need to finish out your roster composition. Don't do that. Worry about getting your roster together as the season progresses. We all get through the year, and we get to the end of the season, and half our team looks different anyway. So that's because we're on waiver wire, or we've made trades, or whatever the case may be. So your week 1 lineup is not going to be your week 10 lineup, or even 6 or 7. So build the best team, and then at that point, take that team moving forward. So thoughts on that, guys? Have you guys run into that sometimes?
Yeah, Chaz and I, we've been in leagues for so long together. You and I were in leagues, Matt, the same thing happens in every league, it seems, where, for example, in some leagues, quarterbacks don't go to the 3rd or 4th round, but once one goes, there's a run on them. Once one defense goes, there's a run on them. I mean, it just always seems to happen, and sometimes it's better to stick to your guns load up your team how you want, and then pick what you're looking for. In my opinion, you know. You try. I mean, myself, I want to get points. I want to get points in every position. Like a lot of people I notice, and Chaz, we've seen this a lot. They'll jump at that second or third tight end before a good second or third wide receivers on the board is going to score them 10 or 80 more points during the year than that tight end. You know, it just happens so much. It's crazy, especially when that tight end position after the top 2 or 3, they're all the same. From 4 to 12 are about the same. So why
you have to look at what your points per week are and what that separation is between those players. You may be able to get a player in round 6 that may only be a point per week better than the guy you took around 12. Look at all the players in between that you missed on. You know, so you have to know. That's why I think tiers or something else I want to talk about is not so much get locked into the ADP, the average draft position, but putting groups of players in tiers based upon that separation at the position. Because maybe between 1 and 12, 1 and 2, like we use wide receivers, Chase is obviously an anomaly. But let's say we go between, like, say, 4 and 12. It may only be 3 to 5 points a week. Is it worth that 2 or 3 or 4 round difference? It's going to depend. So that's something you need to consider is what is the point separation within that position. Tight end's a lot closer because once you get out of the first couple of guys, it pretty much falls off a cliff. So, it's going to be very difficult to find that 6, 7, 8 guy that you think consistently is going to hit that mark. So that position is still kind of a little bit of a wasteland for me. So, but
well, to me, real quick, the one important thing: know your scoring system. Before you go into a draft, know your scoring system. That's key.
Well, you got to know PPR, half-point PPR, standard.
Right.
You get bonuses for certain things. There's a lot of stuff you need to consider.
Yeah, know your scoring system.
Oh yeah, for sure. Chaz, you have anything? Because is this just the one league you guys share together, or are you guys in multiple?
No, we're two. Actually, Chaz, a genius here, better than Mark Madden, by the way, actually invented our second league. He came up with a very unique system that's. We've tweaked it here and there. It kind of needs more tweaking, but
it does need more
the most
tweaking.
unique. It does need more tweaking for sure.
It needs
but
a lot
it's
more
the
tweaking.
most unique because.
Especially the kickers.
Yeah, the kickers score the most in this league, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm going to throw up in my mouth right now. I'm sorry.
Listen. Okay, listen. I can't say that I'm a genius, even though I'll take the credit. But it was a small oversight of
right.
what the league entailed. Now, we should definitely go in there and change those before this league kicks off and we draft, so this doesn't happen. We could even cut those by half points for everything that's already in there. We can just do halves, 50% of that. But the thing about this one is that this is geared towards being more like
an NFL game.
An NFL game, like where the points are 35-27 and that's your final.
Right.
It's once you're down, it's harder to come back from. But the point system is very unique. We'll have to send you a little.
We might have an
screenshot of
opening
what
this year, Matt. So,
yeah, you might want to jump in.
Yeah.
You might want to jump in and just test the waters.
I'm in.
Yeah, if you score 50 points in this league, you're 9 out of 10 weeks you're winning.
Yeah,
honestly.
Okay.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like I said, but know your scoring in your leagues. I'm in 4 different leagues. 1 is for fun, and they're all different scoring competitions galore. You have to know what you need. If it's PPR, if it's not PPR, it's half a point. Some don't. You don't score points until you get 75 yards receiving or 75 yards. Like, it's crazy. So yeah.
Here's my input on what you said, and this is a global thing too. Number one, you're right about who you draft is not who you're going to be with at the end of the year. I think if anybody who thinks that's the case, you need to reevaluate playing fantasy football. Because what you draft is certainly not going to be what you win a championship game with. Okay. Give me 1 second. Night, boys. Love you. We got a big game tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay. Love you.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you for saying goodnight. So again, if you think that your team is going to make it all the way through what 15 weeks and it's going to stay the same, you're drunk. You're drunk on stupidity. And then the second part of what I was going to say, completely lost it. So that's the only one I got.
That's good. That works for me. It'll come back to you. That's age.
Yeah.
By the way,
it happens.
That's
what I got thrown off because I had the demons over here actually.
It's tomorrow's first game, Jazz.
No, tomorrow is his second game. But we gotta go. We gotta travel up to Seneca Valley, so it's gonna be a little bit early of a morning for us. Even though last Saturday we had football from 9 a.m. until
midnight,
10 p.m. because we went to the game right after the game. So
right,
yeah. So it was a ton of football. It's a long day. So yeah, we got second game. He's moving up. He's getting progressively better. So, knock on wood.
They win last week?
No, we lost, unfortunately, 18-6. But at any rate,
slingshots.
Oh, I know what I was going to say. Thank you for that little bit. Trades. Let's put this out there to anybody that has a hard time understanding this. If it's not a comparable trade, don't bother. I can't tell you how many times I've gotten Nick Folk for my starting quarterback. And it's like,
hey, you want a Super Bowl?
Are you drunk? Like, what makes you think that, not Nick Folk, anybody, some kicker, could have been Pat McAfee, a punter, they're trying to trade me Pat McAfee for Patrick Mahomes. It's like, we're not trading Patrick's, okay? You're decimating my team because you're trying to make your team better. If it's not a comparable trade, I don't even look at it. So if you're sending me, if you want my Patrick Mahomes, if I draft him, you better be sending me Josh Allen along with him. There's got to be some reason. Like don't even come close to it. I can't tell you how many times I've gotten, hey, I want your quarterback, and I'll give you 2 running backs that are never going to see the field. What makes you think I'm going to take that trade? So be smart in your trades. Make sure they're comparable.
Quantity doesn't mean quality. Remember that.
No, not at all. Not at all. Because remember, some of these leagues, you're only allowed to carry so many players and so many positions.
Extra wide receivers, yeah.
So it's not. I mean, if I'm getting 2 running backs, I'm going to have to drop one anyway. So I'm basically wasting a person that you're trading me. So it's like, don't even bother.
Yeah.
Yeah. Be smart with your trades. Be intelligent. Those are. I think that's one of the bigger pitfalls of some of this fantasy stuff too, is that people just get a little bit out of their gourd when they're thinking about drafting or trading.
So, real quick,
trading in general is very hard. People don't like to make trades. They feel like they're always getting the short end of the deal. I think in leagues, and again, we can go on with so many different topics, but all these creative leagues you're talking about. I wish none of the leagues that I'm in currently do this, but I wish they would put some sort of premium on the waiver wire, so that you can't just run to the waiver wire and pick up the next available player and whatnot. I almost wish there was a way to incorporate, and they do this in auction leagues, do it in money leagues, is have a fab, have like a free agent budget, they call it, where you can only spend so much money on free agents. I've been in leagues where they make you pay for a free agent, $5 per transaction, whatever. It's a pain in the ass collecting money anyway, so that's kind of a pain in the ass. I would just rather set the rules in place. This is what it costs for the league. If you want to get in, fine, we're done. Get your money at the beginning of the year, and then you have it and you go. But I don't know, just create some sort of value system on the waiver wire.
Well, I know we have in our 2 leagues, we have it's 1 through 12. So if you're last in a league, you get number 1 shot, obviously. I think that's fair.
Again, that's okay too. I mean, that's fine. But and it's just the more people I talk to, it's like they're afraid to make the leagues more difficult. It's like they're afraid to make it more strategic. And I get it. I mean, I understand you suck. You should get first pick in a way, but that doesn't mean success. Look at the NBA. Most teams are stuck in a lottery for years. So it's not even that so much. It's more or less just, I don't know, make it a competitive, balanced league where everything you do, you have to be accountable for. It's not just so much a flip of a coin. So when it comes to the waiver wire, have some sort of budget, create a value for some of these players. So you can't just randomly go get 3 guys and drop 3 guys just because you were the first one to log on that day or whatever. There should be some balance in there. And all the leagues, unfortunately, that I'm into at this point just don't prioritize that. I think they should.
Well, I just saw a new league it's been going for a couple years called the Gauntlet Leagues. Have you guys seen these? Where it's just points every week. So it's a Gauntlet League. So there's 12 teams, 16 teams, whatever it is. It's all points. But you get paid out. The top 3 teams get paid out every week. The last team gets dropped.
Oh, okay. Yes. I have seen that. Yes, I have seen that.
And then all their players go on waivers. And then you have the fab where, you bid on your free agents. You have 3 days. Yeah.
That's incredible. And there are many variations of that. Many leagues. Chaz, your league sounds really creative and fun.
Every player on your roster every week. You don't put a starting lineup in, your whole roster gets played in those leagues.
Yeah, it's a best ball format, essentially.
Right. Yeah.
So, and then those are fun, too. When you talk about best balls, although best ball is a lazy man's league, at least the preparation for best ball, that's where you win. You separate yourself because you're not looking for guys that are consistent performers. You're looking for all high ceiling performers, guys that in any given week can, lead the league in a category, sort of thing. So, it's a whole different strategy, which makes it fun. But anyway, interesting. All right, back to fantasy. A couple of guys. I'm going to give these 2 receivers to you guys, and if you put one or both of these on your team this year or teams, you got the title. The title is yours. So these are guys that I looked for that are, again, what I like to look at metrics. I like to look at the crazy metrics, the ones that tell the story. Route percentages, target share, separation, percentage, catch rates, all these sorts of things, because I think that tells the story. So here's my first guy, Christian Kirk. Okay, we know Houston's offense is going to be good this year. We know they're going to throw the football. We know that wide receiver room's a mess. Tank Dell's already starting the season hurt. Some of the metrics for Kirk, okay, when he's healthy. Now, the last 2 years he's had some issues, but prior to that, separation rate, 13th in the league in 2 of his better years. 22nd in route win rate, okay? All these sorts of metrics that matter. Go back to this big one. 2 years in a row, he was north of 100 targets when he was healthy. Guess what? It's the metric I'm looking for. When he had over 100 targets, he's averaging 80 catches and over 1,000 yards, okay? And he's being drafted in most drafts in the 10th round, 12th round, 10th round, and 12th round. That guy's a steal. He's a guy that can have easily wide receiver 2 potential. And he's being taken 45th, 50th receiver overall, 60th in some drafts. So I'm a Kirk guy. The talent is there. Situationally, he's in a good spot because he's in a good offense. And it's about opportunity. Get him 100 targets, and that guy, it could be the difference. So that's one guy for me. Number 2 guy, and this is another one that makes sense. 10th round, both the mock drafts I've seen. Josh Downs. Okay, here's a guy that, with Flacco last year and a lot of other quarterbacks, he ended up being wide receiver number 21 when it all shook out at the end of the season. Middle of the pack wide receiver 2, Josh Downs, and he's being taken in the 10th round. Guess who's starting quarterback this year? Guess who just got announced? Flacco. Yeah. So Danny Dimes. Sorry. Yeah. So it's just, I don't know, guys like this that metrically makes sense. Opportunity now in better spots. It's the same player. I mean, we can't assume because a player did something last year that he's going to repeat that same performance. So you have to figure out why. What did he do last year? What was the situation like? What was the environment? And for some of these guys that get overlooked, change of environment, change of scenery, these players are really good. And I think they've got huge ceilings in those spots. So receiver-wise, I know our drafts are coming up this weekend. Again, situationally, if they're available and you end up one of these guys as your wide receiver 3 or wide receiver 4, I think you're in a pretty good spot. If you're confident for the rest of your team.
Right. I like those picks. I like those 2 picks. I'll tell you a guy I'm high on, just because of recent news and injuries from a team. The rookie from Tampa Bay.
Oh, Ibuka.
Yeah.
He's the other guy got written down here. Yeah.
I think
he's going to take it in the 9th round. Mm-hmm. Again, another guy that if he's your wide receiver 3 going into the year, are you in a bad spot? No, not at all.
No, especially with Godwin. Godwin's out. McMillan just got a neck injury. He's out for 12 weeks.
Yeah, Evans is 42 years old now. Again, another year. So, that offense.
Baker, that's one thing. Baker's going to throw the ball.
They use 3 wide receiver sets more than any team in the league. They got to have bodies filling those spots.
Right.
So, they spent a pretty good draft pick on this kid. They're going to use him. So he's clearly going to be a huge part of the offense. Okay. And he's a guy like a 9th round. And some draft moving up a little further now gives opportunity in the 8th round. But clearly, wide receiver 3, give him to me.
Unless that one was going to blow me up.
Hello.
The first one is the best.
How are ya?
Doing great. How are you guys doing up there?
We're doing good.
Good.
Sorry, I was muted.
Bad.
So
the one guy that everyone's talking about going nuts is the rookie from Carolina. I'm staying away from him.
Mike, I got him on my list too. McMillan, you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
The only reason I'm saying that is because I think a healthy who's the running back there?
Hubbard.
He catches a lot of balls. Their offense is going for him. So, the only good thing that they're going to be behind probably a lot. So he probably will get out of targets. So
let's talk about them a little bit. Okay, first of all, when making these selections and these guys, might check boxes if I'm deciding on a player and it's not sure one way or the other. It's the offense. It's the defense. It's what the team is. It's opportunity. Last year, the Panthers offense, they were 13th in neutral. Okay, so
that's for me. I still think the first one's the best.
From the top half of the league in deciding over and control the ball.
Top of that one.
I think that increases this year. I think because one more year with the coach, one more year with the quarterback thing, they got a guy like McMillan, who, by the way, in college, his rankings for 2 consecutive years versus man coverage, he was 8th and he was 10th. So the guy can get open and the guy can make plays. Okay, now granted, I know there's reasons, stories, but also Young last year was 5th in deep throw rate. So this offense is going to take shots. And the offense is going to somewhat run through Thielen, somewhat now run through this kid, who they did spend, obviously, high draft capital on. I'm in favor of this McMillan. I think that he's being taken like in the 5th round, 6th round, maybe if you get
way too high, man. Way too high.
Yeah. I don't know. Again, opportunity, Mike. Opportunity spells production.
I get you, but I don't see him more than the 8th and 9th round. I think you jumped the gun in 5th or 6th round with him. I really do.
That's where they're taking him. So, again, I noted him because he's got a good college career. He's got good metrics. Opportunity. There's a lot of things. So, I'm a little more bullish on him. So, it's interesting that you mentioned Mbuka and you mentioned McMillan. Those are the 2 guys that did mention.
The best one.
Oh, yeah, but they're on.
I do.
So,
I think it does everything you wanted to do.
Into
modest and
guys
keeps it flowy to the point where you can't see your ball.
For me, I don't like to go into saying, well, zero RB.
Particularly, but I'm just saying the best out of every fucking dress that you've tried on. That one is
kind of
exactly what I think that you would want.
And most of my drafts, unfortunately, have been receivers in the first couple of rounds. I've been picking mostly the back end, like 8th and 9th. That's where most of my mocks have been. So the top couple of running backs are gone, and it's been taking the top receiver. So that being said, I've been forced to look for running backs that are a little
your preferences.
if you're in good.
Looks like Floyd got text. Like, how
Well, you know what? It's a great year to do that. I think running backs are deeper this year than most.
Yeah, I mean, and again, I've got 5 or 6 guys that are 5th round guys that are in that spot. That if my draft falls the way it may, I'm comfortable taking some of these guys. So just to rattle them off, David Montgomery. Okay, he finished running back 9 last year. That's RB1, and you're getting him in the 5th round. Now, I'm not saying he's going to be RB1 this year, but he may not have to be at that spot. So Detroit's offense, I know there's a lot of mouths to feed, but it's going to look different because you got different guys calling the plays now. So I know it's Gibbs, and I know how talented he is, but Montgomery's got a role in that offense, and I think that role is not going to change that much. So I got him in the 5th round. R.J. Harvey, ascending, got a rookie. Denver, big on the offense. You know Peyton wants to use him. You know he's going to find a way to use him. So I'm big on R.J. Harvey. If you like Denver's offense, and I am. Caleb Johnson, some concerns. I want to ask you guys about him, what you've seen so far. Jordan Mason, another guy in the 8th round. There are drafts where Aaron Jones is being taken in the 4th round. You got a 4-round difference on a guy that I feel at some point down the line, second half of the season, I mean, at least a timeshare, if not more.
Mason may be the starter by week 8.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, okay, real quick, too. Back to strategy. When we're taking some of these players, and it's easy to use guys like Derrick Henry, let's say, Christian McCaffrey, first-round guys, we got to look and see. There's a difference between NFL life and fantasy life, okay? NFL guys are over here. We live in fantasy life, okay? We need guys to produce. One of the things that we have to consider as fantasy owners is where are these teams going to be when we need them most? In weeks 12, weeks 13, playoffs typically start weeks 14. Where are these players going to be, and how are they going to be for us? There's concerns with guys that I mentioned, like Derrick Henry, like McCaffrey, because even in best case scenario or worst case scenario, those teams are in the playoffs, out of the playoffs. You think they're going to be working those dogs at that point in the season when you're needing maximum ceiling from performance on those guys? And from an NFL perspective, they're looking long term and thinking, I'm not giving this guy the ball 20 times today. And you're needing that guy to get the ball 20 times today. So that has to be in consideration when you're taking guys that are on teams that, some of these older players especially, that, you're not quite sure about. You got to put that in the back of your mind at some point, because there's a line. It's NFL reality, and then there's our not reality, which is we try and paint a picture we think is going to happen. And a lot of times it don't match what's really going on in the field. So something else I wanted to throw out there.
2 questions I wanted to ask you guys. Do you guys I'd like to try to handcuff one of my running backs if possible with his backup, especially if he's injury related. You know what I mean, with my later picks. And then secondly, do you guys like to try to get the quarterback to wide receiver combo?
Yeah, do you want to
go? I like both strategies of handcuffing and the duos. But again, you're running a risk. Number one, you're running a risk that handcuff isn't going to see any time because, knock on wood, the running back stays healthy. Now, I think last year was the first year in probably 20-some years that the starting running backs stayed the starting running backs. There wasn't much deviation as far as second stringers coming up and taking the starting job. So you kind of got screwed in that last year if you decided to handcuff, because you ended up wasting a roster spot when you didn't need to. The duos, again, when you got a Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce, could be great for you, unless it was last year where Travis didn't get the ball as much and he didn't score as many touchdowns as he usually does. And it's like you're kind of living by the sword, you're dying by the sword. The upside is fantastic, but the downside could be the reason why you lose your league. So you got to take that on the side of caution. Obviously, too, when you're thinking about doing a duos, the injury bug. Let's say it's not so much your your wide receiver, but your quarterback that goes down, and you got, let's take for example, even though it actually panned out to be okay, let's take Minnesota for example last year. J.J. McCarthy, their starting quarterback, goes down. Everybody thought the season was over. Sam Darnold steps up, plays the position as a backup fantastically. But let's say that didn't happen, and you got Justin Jefferson as a duo. You're screwed. Now you got Justin Jefferson, who should be getting you, almost 10 targets a game, is now probably only going to get 3 targets a game because this backup quarterback has more rapport with a third string guy or a third wideout, or the fact that they know that quarterback isn't going to be as accurate, so they double team Jefferson and they take him out of the game. So Jefferson goes from making 1,500 yards and over 100 catches and 8 touchdowns to 1,100 yards and 85 catches and 6 touchdowns. There's a trade-off there, and it could hurt you, and it could win you the championship. It's all about what you want to do. In some instances, it might be smart for you to say, I lost my starting quarterback. This other guy isn't a great guy. Maybe I'll try to put Justin Jefferson on the market and get somebody for him, get somebody else for him. Because my situation has changed.
Yeah, stacking for me in season-long leagues is not a priority, only because, again, you may have to force that player into a position just to have a stack. You're like, oh, look, the receiver-quarterback combination, round 6 comes along, and all of a sudden you're looking for room for Devontae Adams because you've got, the quarterback or something like that. So now stacking is a very good tool in DFS because, again, you want ceiling plays. If your quarterback and your receiver go off that day, then you're going to be in the top of the leaderboard. Now, the handcuffs, when it comes to season long, I'm not a handcuff guy necessarily, because what's important is who is the handcuff and what is that player compared to the starting player. Just because the player is listed as number 2 on the depth chart, it doesn't make him the handcuff, because you could have a different style of running back. And again, it wholly depends on scheme and player necessarily in terms of just 1 and 2 on the depth chart. So I think that's something to consider. So make sure you're looking at the players as well, and not just who's the backup. And that's it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they're soft.
Good.
So.
You guys want to hit number 2,
Yeah, we got
number 2, Matt? There you go.
I'm going to go first, number 2. Well, this was your number 5, I think, but it was LSU, and it was Garth Brooks. So I think that was the first one you listed there, Chaz. That's for me, Colin.
That was my honorable mention.
Yeah, that's for me. That's my jam. Give me some Garth. So
Garth the serial killer.
I got a redneck for a daughter. Matter of fact, we just bought her a truck. She got it 2 days ago for her first vehicle. So she's real excited about that. We got a little redneck daughter.
Nice, so. Good for her. Congratulations.
Thank you. So that's my number 2. All right, Mike.
So my number 2, I already talked about, was Wisconsin Jump Around. Mm-hmm. So I'm just going to throw my personal favorite just because I go there a lot. Sweet Caroline.
Sweet Caroline.
That's it. Love it.
Eat shit pit. Yeah, it's great. It's great. It's a great one.
Yeah,
any list with no diamond on it to me is a win.
Yeah. Eat shit pit. It's great. Mine is my number 2 is going to be Penn State, 7 Nation Army. I know that Matt, I think you said that was 3 for you, if I'm not mistaken, or 4. But that is my number 2 for obvious reasons. But I had to go with a different team as number 1 because we'll get there when we get there. But
number 1 to me, it's number 1.
I'm sorry. And that's how I feel about it. That's how I feel about it.
There's a chance that we may, because none of us mentioned it yet.
No,
number 1 we all have. I guarantee it.
I was going to say we might all have the same number 1.
I mean, to me, it's the most. I get chills when I see it.
Oh my God, so do I. Anyway,
Does it have anything to do with a swine?
No.
No. Okay. All right. Then I got a different number one. Okay. So anyway,
I think I know exactly what yours is now that you said that word.
All right. So all right. Cool.
Rest in peace, Ozzy Osbourne.
Yeah. All right. So, there's something that I picked up on, and I've been talking about it for a long time, the importance of the quarterback position. Do you guys want to talk about, I laid out the top quarterbacks in each conference, top 7, because there's 7 teams that make the playoffs. I know every year, and this is also pretty consistent, we can rotate 3 teams out, 3 teams in from each conference. Again, we can debate that. That happens every year. Teams that basically, I don't want to say come out of nowhere, but again, you can turn your roster around pretty quickly in the NFL. You catch in the draft, you get a trade or two, you get a guy that comes on the scene now, these rookie quarterbacks are playing better, and all of a sudden you're a playoff team. But if I miss a quarterback or you disagree, then you let me know. I'll go AFC. I got Allen, I got Burrow, I got Jackson. Okay, we're good on those 3, right? I got C.J. Stroud in that list, okay? I got Patrick Mahomes. So those are my top 5. Now, 6 and 7, I got Nix and Herbert. And I think that's pretty cool. So, the irony is that if you look at the Bills, the Ravens, obviously Houston, the Chiefs, Denver, to me, if you're painting the playoff picture in the AFC, my money's on those 7 teams right now, as being the teams represented. So is there a quarterback in there, or is there a surprise team that you think that is going to, make the playoffs this year that I didn't mention of these combinations?
For me, yeah. I think a guy that could be in that list for AFC is Drake May. Just because I think that the Patriots' offense is going to be – I just think they're heading in the right direction. And I just like what the kid brings to the table, He's a lot of moxie. He's more talent around him this year, a number 1 receiver in Stephon Diggs. So – I kind of like him. If I were to drop anyone from that list, it's funny. Mahomes, I don't know if he's a top 7 or 8 quarterback in the AFC fantasy-wise. He had really pedestrian numbers last year.
I mean, this for me wasn't fantasy-related, though, honestly.
Okay.
I do say most of my angle is a fantasy relation. This was just strict teams that are going to make the play. And you're right. I don't have Mahomes inside my top 10. Fantasy-wise, but these are just teams that are going to make the playoffs in the AFC. And we talked about how good Mahomes is situationally, nobody better. For me, and Andy Reid clearly, and whatever.
Fantasy, yeah, he has to be in there. That Chiefs are.
Yeah, so for me, that's the playoffs in the AFC. Playoffs, that's the AFC. So, all right, well, let's talk about the NFC and see if I've missed guys here. I got Jaden Daniels. I got Hurts. I got Goff. I got Purdy. I got Stafford's an interesting one. I got Baker, and I got Jordan Love. Those are my 7 teams. So it's the Packers. It's Tampa. It's the Rams. It's San Francisco. It's the Lions. It's the Eagles. It's the Redskins. Am I missing anybody? Is there a team on the outside that really has a shot to get in? As you're going through the NFC, I'm not sure. Now, again, there's no way that this list is right. I haven't picked the playoffs. But right now, going into week 1, I'm feeling pretty good about the list.
The only person I would put in there on the NFC is J.J. McCarthy.
It's fair. Again, that's it. The roster is a top 2-3 roster in that conference, potentially. Outside of the quarterback position.
So quite possibly, arguably, could be one of the best head coaches in the league as well.
Again, another fantastic combination. Yeah, so that's in discussion too. Yeah,
so I would drop Purdy out of that list for myself because I don't think they're making the playoffs this year.
Their schedule and the way they're going to run things, I think what scares me, I think the Rams are the only team that can either win the Super Bowl or win 4 games. It's really solely dependent on Stafford. He's got the ability and the talent. That roster is really good. And if he's not quarterbacking, I'm sorry, Garoppolo is just not going to be able to run that offense.
Unless you talk about the fact how we don't think that Stafford's even going to make to the end of the year at this point.
Right. When you're an epidural 2 weeks ago, man, shoo. Damn.
Back problems, as you guys know, if you have any kind of back problem or have had any kind of back problems, it's a wrap, dude. There's no getting better from back problems. You manage it the best you can. And at 37 as a quarterback, the beatings that he's taken, that man, his post-life football is going to be in his life. Ice and ibuprofen, because that man is going to be sore. So I have very little confidence, really, in the whole thing. And it's sad because they've got the talent. Stafford, to me, is a top quarterback in the pocket. You know, as long as he's upright, that man's dangerous.
Let me ask you this, because I think I heard this, and I thought to myself, his career is probably over. Is it true, and did I hear it, that Stafford was diagnosed with degenerative disc disorder?
I read that. I did read that.
I don't think that's a current thing. I think that's an older thing. I think that's been floating for a while. Maybe a
that's
year
the
or
thing.
two.
It may not be acute, but if it's chronic, we're talking about the fact that his back problems are exactly what is going on right now. Years of abuse and it chronically it being bad over time to the point where his discs are disintegrating. And I mean, it's going to be only a matter of time before the NFL doctors are like, you can't pass a physical. You're done. If he doesn't retire by the end of this year.
Yeah, he's not going to get better. I mean, it's not going to be better. There's no path where he plays 17 games. There's probably not even a path where he plays 15 games. You know, I mean, there's going to be 3 games in a row, at least through some stretch where he's going to miss time. So to me, it's sad. It's a little bit iffy in their situation. But, I mean, you got McVay, and they must have a plan, you know, in case, or they're just in denial. You know, one of the two, but I guess we'll see. So, again, back to the list. No. Go ahead, Jess.
I was just going to say, if that's the case, and they, you know, I wouldn't put Garoppolo in. I'd put that Stenson Bennett in.
Somebody, you have to figure it out. But, yeah, so, again, back to the list. It's interesting, you know, when you get that quarterback coaching combination right, you know, you got an advantage. And, you know, it's clear these top teams and those relationships are what they are. It's a little bit jealousing, actually. We don't have that relationship in Pittsburgh, but to be determined, I guess, with that.
So, if you don't mind, if you're wrapped up on the fantasy stuff for now, I think we can move on to some superlatives.
Let's go.
You know, we talked about, you know, teams that are, and this would be a pretty good segue for this at this point, projected division winners. We've already talked about teams that we think are going to be in there in the final weeks here, or going to the playoffs. But who do we think is going to be our division winners? I mean, it's a great time to do it before week one. We gotta pick Super Bowl winners and everything like that at this point.
Well, I think that we can probably agree on some of these. We think you want to start in the AFC. I got the Bills. Pretty easy for me.
Yeah, I would agree.
In the North, in our division, I got the Ravens. Again, best coach. You know, combination, no faith. The South, it's a little interesting for me. I think the Colts make a run. The Jaguars are slightly better. Maybe you get a little offense. But it's still the Texans for me. It's coach quarterback for me.
I would agree
so, as well. It's the Texans. And in the AFC West, the fact that the Chargers lost their starting left tackle for the year, it's huge. I mean, it's huge. I know they're moving the right tackle over to the left tackle. I've heard the whole story, whatever. But when you lose a bookend like that, it's tough to recover out of the gate. Like you haven't even started getting hurt yet. And you lose one of your best players. It's tough to recover. So I got the Broncos winning that division. Coach ascends, and the quarterback ascends, and they're just better. And the Chiefs, you mentioned it, Mike, a little bit. Mahomes, I mean, in real life football, he's looked mortal at times. The team has looked somewhat mortal. I think Kelsey's older now, and I don't know. I think it's time. It's just time. So, So
I still have Kansas City in that division.
okay,
And in the South, I think it's such a bad division. I think it's a coin flip. I'm going to go on a limb and say Jacksonville surprised everybody and they may win the division.
I'm going to write this down so I can laugh at you later.
Listen, Jacksonville has a path. Just because, like you said, 9 wins could do it. You know, I mean, just the way things.
If he gets anything out of the quarterback, which is the big if, like Chaz says, he'll be gone if he doesn't win this year.
Yeah.
If he doesn't win this year, he's gone. So, Brian Thomas Jr. is a stud, man, and it's going to be interesting to see what that offense does. And that defense can't be any worse. So, and that division's just horrible. Houston's dealing with a ton of injuries already. They're going with Nick Chubb as their starting running back right now.
They didn't fix the offensive line either, and that's going to be a problem for them. So
I'm going to say Jacksonville, just because I just have a feeling for some reason. Not good, but good enough to win that division. So, but I think we're all the same on the other 3. So,
NFC, the East, Commanders,
Philly.
Cowboys, Eagles, Giants. If you got Philly, I got Philly.
I'm going to go Washington on this one.
Ooh. Why?
I think that even though, we had just started talking about how there's something going on there, especially with Brian Robinson getting kicked out, basically, and the Scary Terry situation, other than the scenario, you still have pretty much everybody still intact. And I think Philly lost way too much in order to be able to win that division, in my opinion. Now, do they still get to the playoffs? Possibly. But the fact that they got their team decimated after their Super Bowl win and everybody got paid elsewhere, I think they lost too much. So I'm going to go with Washington.
Pro Football Focus has their roster overall as number 1 in football. Their weakest of their roster positions is the quarterback position. So, ironically, they have Jalen Hurts as the weak link on that number 1 roster. Pretty interesting. Wow. So, NFC. So you got 1 Commanders and 2 Eagles. Do the Cowboys finish above 500?
They're going to the wild card. I'm telling you.
Okay, I hope you're right because I'm taking pieces.
We have a bet, if you remember. We bet on this.
Oh, because I got the Bears, right?
Yes, you have the Bears. I have the Cowboys.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay. All right, that's fair. Well, let's talk about the Bears. We got the Bears, the Lions, the Packers, the Vikings. Man, that's the best division in football.
I don't think it's a question.
Who you got, Lions?
Can
I tell you that
I want to go Vikings, but I think I'm sticking with the Lions.
Nobody's talking about the Packers. Like, the Packers have been the absolute quietest team, I think, in the entire preseason, offseason. Like, nobody's heard anything about the Packers. So, I mean, again, we talk about coaches. They got one of the better coaches in football. They've got a good team. I don't know. I mean, if you've got some faith in Jordan Love, I sort of kind of do. He was really hurt last year. I mean, he had a few injuries he was dealing with. I mean, I think the roster is also very good. Offensive line is top 10. The defense is usually top 10. They're just a good football team. Nobody's talking about them. I don't know. For me, it's tough. It's tough losing your OC and your DC.
Yeah.
I'm taking the Packers. I'm taking the Packers.
Oh,
Packers win.
I thought you were taking the Bears.
Taking the Packers. Now, the Bears, I've heard some stuff about Caleb Williams I can talk about, but I'm taking the Packers.
He is an immature prima donna. Don't get me started on Caleb Williams. So, in that division, yeah.
No, I was just going to say, Mike, tell us how you really feel.
In that division, like, I want to say the Vikings, but I'm not sold on J.J. McCarthy because he never impressed me in college. So, I'm going to go with the Lions. I'm sticking with the Lions in that division.
All right,
okay.
And Mike.
I think it goes Lions, Vikings, Packers, Bears in that division for me.
Okay, Bucks, Falcons, Panthers, Saints. I'm surprised here. I'm going Falcons. I'm going Falcons because Their defense was also very bad last year, and they went out and they drafted 2 defensive tackles and they signed one in free agency, hoping to fix that problem. We do know about Michael Penix taking the next step. Hopefully he's going to have a little bit. They got talent on offense. They've got receivers. They've got running backs. They've got a lot of skill position players. If you got any faith in Kyle Pitts, this is the year. I got the Falcons winning the division. The Buccaneers have injuries. We talked about it. They get injuries to the receiving room. They do have Bucky Irving, who I absolutely love. But, yeah, I'm taking the Falcons with a 10-win season to win that division.
I'm going to Bucks. I love the Baker magic. I'm going to Bucks. I don't trust Michael Penix. I don't.
Well,
Do you like Baker?
Torn on this.
I tell you a team who I think is going to be exciting, and I'm not going to say they're going to make the playoffs, but I think the Panthers could be fun to watch.
I think they're going to score points. I think their defense is still bad. That roster was so bad.
Right.
So it's going to take them a few years to get right. And they drafted offensive players. They drafted offensive line. They drafted the receiver McMillan. They've got Hubbard. They've got talent. But you're right. Offensively, I do like some Carolina pieces.
Mm-hmm.
I just heard a rumor today.
Matt, what about Matt? He's here.
It's true.
I heard a rumor that Adam Thielen could be on his way out.
Really? Well, that means that's a good. They have depth at their wide receiver position. I guess they're going young.
I don't
think. Thielen. Trying to think. They have Tolbert still. I don't know.
They have that rookie from last year. They have the number 1 pick from this year.
Yeah, maybe I don't know. Yeah. Interesting. All right, the West, the Cardinals, the
Rams.
Rams.
Jess didn't make his pick yet. Hold on.
Oh, sorry, Jess.
No, I'm actually gonna agree with Mike and go the Bucks because for whatever reason I like Baker and it's just weird that I like him.
Me too.
I think they're gonna figure it out. I think they're gonna end up going and getting some wide receiver help. We probably obviously through trade, or they might just wait until people get cut for after they don't make the 53. So they could have they could be falling in bucket shit and coming out smelling like a rose. So, but what I didn't say is what team was inquiring about getting Adam Thielen.
The Steelers?
Nope. He'd be making a comeback. Going home.
The Vikings.
Yep. With Jordan Addison being suspended for the first 3 games, the Vikings have reached out to the Panthers and inquired about Adam Thielen.
Interesting. That'd be a nice pickup for them.
Yeah.
Damn.
Him going back home. So
yeah, I mean
that's the rumor. Yeah, that's the rumor that I heard today. So
interesting.
Good for Adam Thielen.
Yeah.
49ers, Cardinals, Rams, Seahawks. The Rams we talked about, it's going to depend on Stafford. I think they're good enough to win that division. The 49ers, I know they're already starting the year with a lot of injuries, but schedule-wise, coach, I like Purdy. The Cardinals, kind of the forgotten team there. We're waiting for Kyler Murray to get to 5'8". I don't think he's going to get there. For me, it's the Niners. Only because I don't have any faith in Stafford, and I don't have faith in his back, and I don't have faith in Garoppolo. So I got the Niners.
I'm going to Rams. I have faith in McVay, so I'm going to Rams.
Okay.
We're all going to be different. I'm going to go the Cardinals. I just don't like anybody else in that division, to be honest with you. I don't like the fact that Stafford is a huge question mark and probably won't finish the season as a starter. The Niners, like we've talked about, are decimated again. And I hate Sam Darnold, so it's easy.
Kyler Murray has to be mobile this year. Last year he was not.
And they got to get Marvin Harrison into something.
You have to.
I mean, the fact that he came out and he was a non-factor right away hurt him for the rest of the year.
Which doesn't make sense because they have Trey McBride, who's a beast at tight end. Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Trey made a name for himself this year and got paid. And
right.
I mean, I guess he was a security blanket. They just let Harrison just go long every time, and they had, Trey McBride coming up the backside of him and just sitting 10, 15 yards downfield.
Yeah.
I think we get spoiled still with the emergence of some of these younger players. And if you remember, I remember forever, for years, you'd be like, well, rookie receivers tend to struggle because whatever. And now he's in year 2, and we're waiting for that next step. So maybe Harrison's that guy. Situation's important too. Remember, it depends on what you feel about Kyler Murray. I'm not a Kyler Murray guy at all. I just don't think he's that guy. I've heard him even say, and this goes for most quarterbacks that are his size, that a third of his throws, he doesn't see the target, okay? He's throwing to a spot. And that's, to me, a little bit of a concern, okay? Because I would kind of think you'd want your quarterback or your pilot or your surgeon or your anybody to see what they're doing in order to get the most out of whatever it is they're trying to accomplish. Makes sense, right?
Well, I mean, it plays into, but I'm sorry to cut you off, but it plays into what and how he plays, because he plays outside of the pocket. He's not a pocket quarterback.
And that's my point. The last year, especially if you look at his rushing numbers, they were down considerably. And you heard different reasons. You heard injury, you heard whatever. Okay. He has to be mobile. They have to run the offense, getting him out of the pocket, using him as a mobile quarterback, because that's where his strengths are. He cannot survive in the pocket. Okay, it doesn't work. Quarterbacks of his size don't work. So they got to get him out of the pocket. They've got to build the offense around mobility and his strengths. And unless they do that, your ceiling is limited on guys like Marvin Harrison, who need the developing type atmosphere, positive, and you're not going to get it from that sort of player. What are we in year 6 now of Kyler Murray? I mean, what are we waiting for? I mean, it's just like, is he going to all of a sudden, be a top 5 guy? I don't think so. And if we're waiting,
amazing, I guess.
I mean, if he's a mobile quarterback, at least that's what he was. That doesn't get better either as you get older in your career. I mean, Lamar Jackson realized that. He learned how to throw the football. But, eventually, too, you're going to lose some of that shine as well, in the next couple of years. So these windows are not as long for these guys. And if this is his ceiling right now, Kyler Murray, if we've seen his ceiling, I'm out. I'm out on everything, Arizona, honestly. So, except for maybe Trey McBride. But, the rest of it. So, anyway, that's just my take on that. So,
all right. Let's go. Not yet. Okay. We'll do that right after this. Let's go real quick. Let's go to superlatives. Who do we think is going to be comeback player of the year?
Oh, comeback player of the year. That's a good one. Mike, you want to go? Did you do any of these yet, Mike, or no?
I did a few, not comeback player of the year. I don't know.
Mine's easy. I think comeback player of the year is a no-brainer. I think he's already elected. Aiden Hutchinson.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah, if he
Yeah.
He actually, I think he's number 1 right now in terms of MVP for defensive MVP. He's got the lowest odds. So, so obviously he would be comeback player of the year. He could take both those awards.
Yeah, I would think he's going to be. I think it's 100% going to be Aiden Hutchinson. If he doesn't get hurt, plays the whole year, it's a no-brainer. I think it's going to be Aiden Hutchinson. Since you mentioned defensive player of the year, let's go defensive player of the year.
I have Will Anderson from Houston, only because I think Houston has a pathway where they could win the division, get that home playoff run, maybe get a couple of wins, be a factor. And he was rookie of the year 2 years ago, got hurt. But actually, I think he got hurt. He had 11 sacks last year. So I just like them. I'm getting away from the consensus top 3, which is Hutchinson, which is Parsons, which is J.J. Watt. Just because I want to go a little bit outside the box. So,
we knew what he meant. We knew what he meant.
Yeah, thank you. I got excited. So for me, my defensive player of the year is going to be Will Anderson from Houston.
I have TJ.
I figure one of you.
I think the Steelers' defense is going to be ridiculous if they stay healthy. I really do.
I would
Agree.
hope so. I would hope so. I don't know. I mean, I hate to say it, but probably Myles Garrett because he's getting paid so much. I think he's going to go banana land. And, hopefully for Cleveland he does because they're going to need something to pick that team up and be, exciting to watch. So I'll go Myles Garrett, and not because I want to.
Offensive
I know
player
it
of the
does.
year.
It does hurt. Offensive player of the year.
MVP, let's say, because that's what it is. Anyway.
Yeah, pretty well, that's why I got the same guy. It's Baltimore's year, I feel, as long as they're healthy. Obviously, that's everybody's story. But I think they have one of the better rosters in football consistently. Defensively, you just know they're going to be a top 5 defense every year. They are. It's sad for us. We used to be that.
Their defense has stunk lately.
Yeah, it's
Defense has been not good. Yeah, they've been not good.
Only on their back end, but they fixed that at the end of last year.
They did because they do create turnovers, so I give them that. But their defense hasn't been Baltimore-esque.
But their issues has been on the back end, and last year they addressed that. So, and also in the draft this year, I think they got a safety in round 2. I thought I was reading or a corner or something. So, I have confidence in that team. I have confidence in Lamar Jackson. So it's Lamar Jackson for me, an MVP and Offensive Player of the Year because they win the whole thing.
Yes.
My Offensive Player of the Year and MVP are different. My Offensive Player of the Year, I think, is going to end up being either. I'll give you 2 of them, either Jamar Chase or Joe Burrow. Now, my MVP, I think, is going to be Bo Nix.
Interesting. Wow. That's on a limb right there, my friend.
Way limb, because I think these are working hand in hand with the team's success. And if they're not even a playoff team, which I'm not saying they won't be, but there's a path, and there's a path for them, being second to the Chiefs and being second fiddle the whole way. But that's interesting. I do like that.
But again, if they beat the Chiefs in the playoffs, it's locked.
Oh yeah. And even though nobody really likes Sean Payton, I can see them making him the darling for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I can even see Sean Payton being Coach of the Year.
I have him down as Coach of the Year, honestly.
Really? They don't like him, though. Nobody likes Sean Payton. No. Except
if Denver wins that division, he wins Coach of the Year. Unless some other team comes out of nowhere.
He should.
My MVP and Offensive Player of the Year are, to me, this year's Super Bowl champion, Josh Allen, Buffalo. Again.
They really.
Okay. Yeah. So hold on. Let's go through this. We got Matt, who has the Ravens picking for the Super Bowl winner. Mike, you got. What did you say?
Josh Allen and the Bills.
You got the Bills finally getting over the hump.
Yep.
Well, the problem is you got to go through Mahomes and Lamar Jackson, which he hasn't been able to do yet.
Right. More so Mahomes. His problem's been Mahomes.
I mean, Allen and Mahomes are just like Brady and Peyton.
Mm-hmm.
Hard to get past them, but.
Yep.
Boy, Super Bowl winner already. I think it's going to be an AFC team. Yeah, it's going to be an AFC team. Yeah, it's hard to go against either one of these teams. It really is, because you can make a case for any one of them. But for whatever reason, the Ravens seem to fall apart when it comes down to the end of the year.
So, when you were having issues beginning of this, me and Matt talked about that.
Yeah.
I blatantly said, and I've been saying this for years, Jim Harbaugh's part of that problem. He's part of the problem, if not the main problem. He does this every year, and now last year he did it again with Henry. He ran the shit out of the Ravens against us, yet in a big game, the guy gets 6 or 7 carries in the second half of the game.
Right.
He didn't get the ball. They go against the grain, and what gets them there every time they're in the championship game.
So,
and I laugh about it because I hate them so much. So
when it comes down to that, it's going to have to be the Bills for me. Then I think this might be the final year that they get over the hump. So bring on a Super Bowl to Bills Mafia and let the dildos fly.
I would be okay with the Bills winning. I have no bad ill towards Buffalo. I'd rather see them win than Baltimore, honestly. But
Right.
I just kind of feel like it's Baltimore's turn as well.
So we're going to wrap this up with our number one, and then me and Mike, Matt, you can chime in if you want, but me and Mike are going to cap off the college weekend here.
Yeah,
So-
there's 3 games I have written down. We could make a pick for, and that's about it for college. So
Yep.
number one,
Week
Matt, what's your
zero.
number
So
one?
number one. I think it's
My number one.
Can I guess it?
Yes.
I was going to say it's War Pigs.
Yes, Arkansas. Yeah, certainly War Pigs. Come on, man. It's the best football song ever. That song is just, you got to hear that.
Right now, I
It's
think me
good.
and Mike have it. I think me and Mike have
Yeah,
the same number one.
I know you're good too, but all right. So that's my number one, War Pigs.
Nice. It's a
Jazz.
good one, though.
Metallica,
Enter
Enter
Sandman,
Sandman,
Virginia Tech. Yep.
Yeah, it's
By far.
phenomenal, man.
By far.
It gives me chills, man.
Oh, my
I tell
God.
you what.
I go banana land when I see that thing. It's just,
Yep,
it's
crazy.
It's remarkable.
Yep.
I don't know
It's
why.
like
but-
Renegade for the Steelers. It's amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
brings me to my next question, real quick, before we move on. Do you think, and I'm sure they do, and it's hard to picture because we're not in those cities, but do you think that other NFL teams are like the Steelers and have a Renegade type song? They play third quarter, go into the fourth quarter, and try to pump them up.
I haven't seen it.
The Steelers is Village People.
I haven't seen it. If you see all these NFL videos,
Yeah,
and you
haven't.
never see.
No, I haven't either.
The funniest video I saw was when it was the first year they played it, and Terrell Suggs, they played that damn Renegade.
Yeah.
He said the players we played against looked across, the hair stood up on their arms, like wow. You know?
Well, which was funny because a lot of the players didn't even know what the song was called. They just called it
Right.
"Oh Mama." They just said,
Oh mama, third quarter.
They kept saying, "Play Oh Mama, play Oh Mama. Come on,
Yep.
let's go, play Oh Mama."
Yeah.
So I
Funny,
thought that was
funny.
funny. But yeah, I think we can say that VTech was probably the overall consensus.
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
the Metallica one?
Yep.
Yeah, that's the one I chose.
Yep. Even the wife said the same thing. She goes, "Yeah, that's the
Yep.
one I chose."
Yep.
Yeah, it's hard not to like them.
It's
Yeah,
it's
phenomenal.
very hard not to like it, especially when you're. And again, Wisconsin, came up with the whole thing, but Virginia Tech got a great one.
Yeah.
So.
It's just unbeatable. So.
Yeah. So with
right,
that
real
being
quick,
said, we have week 0 upon us, which is the first week of college football, and there are not
Right.
a lot of crazy, teams. Even though week 1 is going to be bananas when we get to that.
Yes.
The biggest game that's going to be this weekend is going to be Iowa State versus Kansas State, and if I'm not mistaken, is this one in Ireland?
Yes, and it's
Okay.
called Farmageddon. Farmageddon, they're calling it.
Armageddon. So Iowa State is ranked 22nd, and K-State is ranked 17th. I have K-State's line at 3.5 and 50.5 over under.
Yep.
So considering that last year we had Georgia Tech and Florida State, and that didn't get over 48, I'd have to take the under on this game. And I would probably take KSU to cover.
I have Kansas State in the over
Okay.
myself.
So we both have
I'm
Kansas
looking
State.
at the over.
You got the over. I got the under.
Right.
I'm making a pick too.
Let's go.
But I'm trying to find. Have you guys looked at the weather for that game?
It's cloudy with a chance of meatballs.
It's cloudy with a chance of Guinness.
No, but
Guinness.
Swedish meatballs. Oh no, wait, they're in Ireland. Never mind.
No, Ireland. Meatball.
Yeah, they don't have meatballs in Ireland. No, but wind is a factor. Are they playing indoors or are they playing outdoors?
Outdoors.
Playing outdoors.
Okay. Well, wind is the biggest factor in any weather-related football. So it's not even rain, it's not even snow, it's wind. So wind is important to see. I like the over in that game as well. I think there's going to be a return for a kickoff or a touchdown. How about that?
There you
So Give me Kansas State and the over. Lock it in.
Okay. There we go.
Okay.
We got our first picks of the year.
I have 3 games. So the next game is Fresno State. The starting quarterback is Kurt's son. What's his name? Help me.
Warner?
Yes, Kurt Warner's son is starting quarterback for Fresno State this year.
Oh,
Wow.
okay.
Yeah, he went to Rice and Temple. He's finishing his career at Fresno State, and they're playing at Kansas. Kansas has a 6-year senior, Jaden. He had a heck of a year 2 years ago, but last year, 14 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, wasn't that good. Kansas struggled. Kansas has a new stadium, bounce back year for them. They're 14-point favorites at home. 50.5 is the big number this week in college football. I have Kansas in the over in that game.
You were a 6-year senior too, weren't you, Mike? Did you go to high school for 6 years?
Sophomore.
You're a sophomore. You're a 6-year sophomore. I'm going to go the exact opposite of what you said, just because I don't think you're going to hit them both. So I'll split the bet, and I'll take the opposite of what you took.
Fresno and the under you're taking.
Well, because that return man also is one of the top of the country. You remember when we used to do your polls? And I used to have to pick between Furman and the Citadel.
I have it. I have it for next week, by the way. I have it. So, already made.
We're picking local high schools as well.
William and Mary versus Furman. Yes.
There you go. Furman.
Listen, William and Mary plays Furman week 1. So, it's on there.
I'm all over it. You give me William, you give me Mary. I'll take them both. All right, give me your third game.
Yes. Well, Chad's going to make his pick in this one.
I'm gonna do a different combination than all you guys. I'm gonna take Kansas in the under.
Okay.
Oh, we got this one covered.
And then we have one more, which is I always love to throw this one out there. Stanford's at Hawaii.
Talk about thinly sliced cheese.
Stanford's getting 2.5 at Hawaii. The over/under is 50.5.
Well, I am worried about taking a team that has the mascot of a rainbow. So I am not going to be taking Hawaii, and I am going to be taking the road team here, and definitely the over. Because that's a pretty fast track they got out there at that stadium. I see it's pretty. It makes my TV look really nice. Yeah, give me the road team and the over.
The new head coach of Stanford this year is Frank Reich.
Really?
Little tidbit, yeah.
He got fired from the NFL.
Yeah.
For being terrible. All right. Maybe he'll be better in college. Give me
Chad,
Frank.
Your pick?
What do you got, Stanford in the over?
Stanford's plus 2.5, and 50.5 is the over.
Or to lock Stanford. Yes.
Okay, so you had Stanford in the over, Matt. I'm going to take Hawaii in the over.
Ooh.
Because it's at Hawaii, correct?
It is.
It is.
Yes.
So
I'm thinking a little bit of jet lag here.
Well, Hawaii in their last 15 home openers are 11-3-1 against the spread.
Wow, that's impressive. I'm thinking that if it's during the year, it's probably harder getting there. But if they're there week 1, they're probably there early. They're probably prepared.
They're from California.
Not to mention, you're talking about people that haven't gone to Hawaii probably ever, so they're going to get caught up in that.
Right.
Not to mention, they're going against a bunch of ooses, so I'm going to take the ooses.
Right. Something yeet.
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 4
so
letters.
I'm taking Hawaii
1
in the
word.
under that one.
Yeet.
I'm taking Hawaii in the under in that one.
Okay. So again, we have all 3 different ones. I think.
Yeah, we sprayed everywhere.
Yeah, we did.
Well, there we go. We got our first pick.
And that's all we'll call it this week. All the rest are, just
I mean, there's really no reason to kind of pick any of the other ones, but those are probably the 3 best games that we're going to get over this week 1 or week 0 turnabout here. So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I think we have just put in the first episode of Sports Dummies on YouTube.
Sports Dummies on the map.
Love it.
Episode 1 is in the books. We shall get together. Well, necessarily, we don't have to do it this week, but I would say Friday for sure. I don't think we need to do 2 shows this week.
Right.
So Friday show will be fine.
And then after that, we're probably looking at 2 shows.
We
Which
could talk
I
more
think-
fantasy because the week doesn't start until
Right.
that week before that Thursday night is
Yeah.
so we can pick that game.
Yep.
And then talk about the matchups for week 1.
We'll
See how
have
our
to put
drafts went.
We'll have to put our picks on the site as well each
Yep.
week.
Yep.
I'll also have a special fantasy breakdown where I'll have like a core 4 of players that I'll like to use, and I'll probably be more DraftKings based. That's the more popular platform. So I'll have like a DK core 4 that I'll put on there and post, and then we can post, like certain props, because I generally like lean fantasy and prop betting go hand in hand because you're looking for player production. So I'll probably have a couple of betting props on there as well each week, and we can keep track of those and see how we do.
That sounds good. Listen,
Yep.
let me ask you something on DK. Remember how you and I used to go head-to-head in basketball on DK?
Yeah,
Matt?
yeah.
Do they have a thing on football we could do where the 3 of us can get in?
I'm sure of it, 100%. It's just a league that we would create that we would just invite the dummies.
Yeah.
So, whatever. Yeah, certainly get in. Chaz, do you have a DraftKings account?
I can probably get you one.
Yeah, okay. It's fun.
I had
do the
DK,
math.
I had FanDuel. I use DK though. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I use FanDuel primarily, but if we're gonna do some sort of DK stuff,
matter of fact, I'm
between
putting
the three
these
of
in tomorrow on my DK. So
Okay.
yeah.
All right, very cool. Looking forward to it.
All right, gentlemen. Chaz,
All
good
right.
luck tomorrow.
Yep.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
appreciate
good
it.
luck tomorrow in your games, for sure.
I appreciate it. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thanks for putting all this together as well.
Yeah.
No, not a problem. Had a little bit of technical difficulty earlier, but we got that figured out, so we're good to go. So we will be back Friday at 9 p.m. again for anybody who's still watching. So don't forget to like and subscribe and send us some comments. We can read them on either live or we can go back and read them and talk about them then. So
Yep.
as for then, good night, everybody. Good morrow. We'll see everybody on the next one.
See you guys.
Peace.